we discuss issues about this thing called life. Clothing is a very basic need. Araw-araw tayo ay nagbibihis. And according to scriptures, in the first letter of Paul to Timothy, it is written, I want women to dress modestly with decency and propriety. The Lord desires for us to be clothed with dignity. And in this episode, we will learn again from an internationally certified image consultant. Let us all welcome Ms. Ginny Villegas. Hello again, Ginny, for the part 2 of our image forum.
Hi, Rita. Thank you for inviting me again.
Okay, so Ginny, tell us, why is it important to be clothed in dignity? Why? Ano bang kahalagahan nito sa ating pagkatao?
I think the reason why we should aim to dress with dignity is because it enhances our human dignity. So we have just repeated the term dignity, because it's true. When you if you want to enhance your own dignity, you have to dress with dignity.
Also, it matters. So, it matters pala how people see us, yung appearance natin, it matters to people.
Yes, of course. No? For one, is, as you said in the introduction, clothing is a basic need. But
Yes.
at the same time, when we are dressed well, then we improve the perception others have of us with our choice of clothes. And of course, because aside from clothing being a protection, why do we say it enhances our dignity? Because it heightens our worth, our self-worth and respect. Right?
Our
Because
self-worth. Okay. Tell us more about that, yes.
as you know, we don't want to be indecent. We don't want to be naked when we face people, because that is not in keeping with human dignity. So we dress for respect. When you clothe yourself, then you are enhancing your dignity. You are not just addressing a basic need of protection from the elements or coldness, but you're enhancing your human dignity when you are clothed properly, right? Because the animals, they don't need clothing. They're not rational beings, but we are. We are rational beings. Why is this so? Isn't it? We know biblically that it was only after Adam and Eve ate of the forbidden tree of
Yes.
apple that they realized they were naked. But previous to that, they didn't even think
Oo nga, no?
about
The
it.
story of creation,
They were not.
wala namang
Yes. So there you see the start, of original sin, right? That means when people are naked, you can be looked at with malice because sin came into being, right? And that is why it is part of decency always to be dressed properly. And it is, even in civil law, it is unlawful, to be naked. People are arrested by the police, right? Because that is a public obstacle, that is not part of, that is really inhuman. First, that is not in keeping with the dignity of the person to go around that way. So that is why we have to take care of the way we dress. Okay, for people who are believers, we know it is caused by sin, or that inordinate desires that man has, no? But for those who are unbelievers, you can explain that with bad intentions, evil intentions. Men and women can have evil intentions, and we can be a proximate occasion of sin if we are not, or of those bad intentions if we are not careful with how we present ourselves to others.
So, Ginny,
This way, because I know that this is a faith-based podcast that you have.
pero Ginny, you as an image consultant, what happens kapag halimbawa merong mga bata, the young, and considering the climate in our country na mas madalas na mainit, and ang naririnig ko kasi sa mga kabataan, like, this is my expression of my authenticity as a person, this is my expression, you have to respect it, pero nakikita natin na halos hindi naman sila nakabihis ng tama, at nag-elicit ng mga, they invite some negative comments from the older people and from the opposite sex. So what do you tell the young? Pag ganito yung reasoning nila na, eto ako you have to respect me. Ganito ako magbihis at saka mainit.
Actually, when they talk that way, it's because they really think it's more attractive. We cannot dispel that fact that why would people dress that way if they don't think that will make them more attractive or even sexually attractive if that's what they're after. Okay, so they have an intention. That's why first and foremost, before I can answer your question directly, we have to first start with what are our goals when we dress, what are our intentions. Okay, so first, to always dress according to our human dignity, whether you're a man, you're a woman, always to think about that. And of course, please God, and to respect the others. That's why we also have such a thing as dress codes.
Right.
So it's a lack of respect if you know it's a formal. If it's a lack of respect if you know you're invited to a formal affair, for example, a wedding, or a state dinner, and you are not dressed according to the occasion. That's a lack of respect for the people who invited you. So we can't just say I'm so free. Of course, our freedom is limited by the others, and our freedom should lead us to do what is good and pleasing to them. That is one thing to have in mind. So we dress according to our intentions. If we are going to have a professional activity or a business meeting, then we are dressed according to the occasion. Business casual, business formal, whatever it is. If you're going to the beach, then you are casually dressed. You are in resort wear. If you have to swim, you are in swimwear. There are swimwear that are decent. They don't have to be, it doesn't always have to be the bikini. Like me, I also
minsan na parang
you don't have to be so manang and say, I cannot wear a bathing suit. Of course you can. There are decent styles. There's even the rash guard. So it depends on your intention and also dressing up according to the occasion, right? Always thinking about what will enhance my dignity more. Always thinking about the message that we want to communicate to others, right?
Okay.
Before, I was attending a meeting with some other image consultants, and one of them asked, "How low should the neckline go?" And another one answered, "After 5, pwede na."
What is that again? After 5 p.m.?
After 5 p.m. Isn't it? Because, Rita, as we are image consultants, we teach people that for the corporate attire, you have to take care of decency, right? Right? And make sure your skirts don't reach above the knee, that you don't give the wrong signals with the way you're dressed. But after 5, pwede na. I don't agree with that, because if you are consistent with your values, then you will also think, how am I dressed after 5 or when I go home? Because you also respect the other people you're going to meet, like your family members. For you, like Rita, you're married, your spouse, right? And your children. So that is how we have to think. It's not only, I'm just following a dress code, but you're there. But if you have convictions about decency, no matter what the dress code is, you're going to be decent. You can't say, kasi I'm in the beach. There are always decent options.
Oh, decent options. That's very good.
Or at home. Or at home. Like, I'm just at home, so naka-tank top lang ako at shorts. But there are decent options na pambahay. So, it's really a matter of, seeing what I want to communicate about myself. And does this outfit reflect me? Or am I just too lazy to dress properly? Too lazy? Or sa mga babae, kumisan na lazy or too naive. Many times when I teach women, they just want to follow trends or what's in, or they think if the more flesh you show, the more modern you are. And that is also sometimes how many of the generation Z or the millennials dress up. No, they think that this is how I can look younger. The shorter your skirt, the younger you are. So those are some concepts that that are implanted even to us. I think I have heard those things when I was younger, right? So you have that impression na masyado kang manang pag medyo mahaba yung palda mo o yung
Oo.
manggas ka, no, masyadong manang yan. So we have to, of course, I'm not saying that it should always be like that, but we should have convictions that I am dressing up according to who I am, how I want to be respected, and how I want to communicate my personality to others. Not because I want to follow trends. I want to be in. I want to. I don't want to be ostracized. I want to always be modern. Sometimes we have those notions,
Oo.
right? But
So,
sometimes it's even me, I'm more comfortable saying that I'm conservative because I have conservative values and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As long as you're able to present yourself in an attractive way, doesn't turn off people because that way they can also see that you have that good taste is compatible with modesty.
okay. So, Ginny, how do you marry being conservative or, having yung values, godly values with, with being stylish? Kasi syempre, ayaw naman natin na because we are conservative or because, our age, we don't want naman to appear manang, hindi ba? So are there ways we can dress na fashionable, trendy, but still with dignity?
Well, I think since I'm an image consultant, I'm also I also help people style themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I can talk about my own experience. I really don't go um for for clothes that are very tight or
Mm-hmm.
that show a lot of flesh. So I think it is possible, and there are many other role models I can mention, like for example, Duchess Kate or Queen Rania of Jordan, or you can think of your own role model in your community, in your office, someone who has good taste but doesn't show much flesh, then it's possible because there are always options. Unlike Rita, I suppose it's even better, it's even more acceptable in our day and age to be decently dressed than when it was in the 60s and 70s because parang you had no other option but a short skirt.
Oo
Because
nga, oo nga. Buti nga ngayon, mga
the trend and it is
oo.
impossible to now you have options, right? Any length would go. But before parang you're really, constrained. Yun lang. Tapos pag medyo mahaba ng konti, parang manang ka na. Pero in reality, maiksi pa rin siya. Kasi above the knee pa rin siya, pero maiksi na yun. So, so I think now there are more options because women have been more vocal. There are many who are brave enough to speak about their own style, not to be dictated on by fashion designers and
Mhm.
fashion houses that say that the women should be dressed this way. I think we have to stand out for our own principles and our own criteria when it comes to clothing. And a Christian woman is also. I always admire decent and attractive women. I mentioned some of them, like Queen Rania. I'd also like to mention Audrey Hepburn, who's a classic.
Right.
Always properly dressed, whether she's in the beach or she's in the sea or she's in a formal affair. So you can see that it's possible to be dignified and at the same time without showing too much flesh.
Mhm. To be dignified without being manang, no, Jimmy?
Yes, yes.
Pwede naman maging
Yeah, that
fashionista.
is what a servant leader can communicate. Because I also see some inconsistency sometimes with some. Sorry, I'm not going to criticize people, but it can people who are. So if you're talking about women who are active in the parish, when they have the task of being a lector, do you have a dress code? You have to wear white.
Meron. May dress code. O may uniform, in fact. Kaya,
Uniform, ganyan. But when they're not there, what are they wearing? There should be some consistency in the lifestyle, right?
consistency. Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. But they have also to show that they project the same decency even if they're not there in the church.
What about our bodies, Ginny? Do we own it? Kasi di ba it is a mantra of, the very liberal women that you don't dictate what I do to my body because I own it. Is our body part of our dignity as a person?
We are composed of body and soul. So it is part of our dignity as a person. And we
Mm-hmm.
belong to God. So we don't own our bodies. And our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. As long as we are in the state of grace, we know that the Blessed Trinity even indwells in us. So we have to show that we have to respect that body of ours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we can't just do anything, or you know why also, Rita? Uh, you can also understand this from the viewpoint of male and female psyche. Since you're a psychologist, I guess you can relate to what I'm going to say. There,
Again.
there's a difference, and studies show there's a difference between how men and women get attracted to each other. No, the women are
Oh,
more into what is emotional, sentimental, or what, no, appeals to them, to their feelings, etc. While men get attracted more to what is physical,
yung nakikita.
nakikita. So
Mm.
if women are not are show a lot of flesh, a guy can get attracted. If a woman shows too much flesh, a guy can get attracted to her body, not to her.
Oh,
So we are really the woman can be perceived as an object instead of a person, sex object.
as a sex
That
object.
is the objectification of the woman. And for those who are also into women's rights, they don't like
Mm.
that. Not, I mean, we will agree with them in that issue. That's why they don't like the beauty contests, right?
All right, right. But
So
what about also those advocates of women's rights? They say that I have a right to my own body
yes,
because I own it.
yeah,
Totoo.
yeah, yes. I'm just saying a point wherein we can agree with them.
Yes. What
which
about the
is
point
which
where we
is
disagree with them?
which is in that, not to degrade the woman in terms of treating her as a sex object. We can agree with them in that area.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. So that is important to consider, that we give a message about ourselves and our values with the way we dress. Unless a woman thinks she's after um, sexual attraction, and she wants to hook the wrong guys, then that can explain why a woman dresses that way. But if she doesn't have that intention, so I said we dress according to attention, maybe she is just naive about her choices. And she has to really think before diba? A while ago we said think before you post.
Think
I now think before you wear something. Plan well your wardrobe.
okay. Plan your wardrobe very
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Because that way we are able to communicate who we are. Because as one of our image masters, Judith Raxban, said, clothing is the number one nonverbal.
Oh, the number one, kumbaga yun yung loudest non-verbal natin. Because what are the messages we send? No,
But
by
it
the way we,
gives you a message about the values of the person just by how she's dressed.
right. What about right
Or
now?
values and profession, lifestyle, just with how she's dressed.
Okay. What about digital presence? Would you be able to give us some tips? Kasi lahat ng meetings ngayon, di ba, virtual eh. So, kailangan ba? Ganun din ang pag-aasikaso natin sa appearance natin when we are in virtual meetings. Give us some tips on how we should behave during virtual meetings, during webinars that we attend, our postings in social media. Tell us more about that.
Sure. For one, of course, since it's not, we don't meet people face to face,
Oo.
let's admit it. The fashion trend now is waist up fashion.
Ito lang.
Kahit naka-shorts ka or naka-jeans ka pang baba, dapat you're dressed according to the occasion for your upper body, right? That means if it's a business meeting, then business casual, or
Mhm.
you try to adjust to the dress code of that meeting that you are attending online. Of course, if it's just chikahan with your friends, then you can be smart, dressed in a smart, casual way. But the idea is to always also take care of dressing up according to the occasion and knowing your intentions when you dress. So it's a matter of knowing how to also give the right message through your online presence. And then the other thing there is you also need to take care of the grooming. I
Even
mentioned,
online, even
yeah,
online.
yes, of course, because you have, like me, I've had to put more makeup than usual because of the lights. Because of the lights, no? Because you have to think about that when you have an online meeting, and then also, what else do you have to do when you have to dress up for an online meeting? Of course, the makeup, and then you have to think of the ruler rule, no? From the
Ruler rule. Okay.
top of your head down 12 inches should be very presentable. So your hair, the grooming of your hair, with your makeup, if you're a man, to be well shaved, no? And then that is important when you are facing people in an online meeting.
Okay. So, Jeannie, does the way we appear, like our clothing, does it affect how we feel about ourselves?
Yes, it does. Because for one, if we are dressed, if we make an effort to dress properly, to fix ourselves, then we psych ourselves also because we know we look our part.
We look our
And
part,
you look
yes.
our part, especially if you are presenting in a meeting. Now you look your part. But if you present in the meeting and you didn't fix yourself, you didn't put makeup, then I guess you will know also what is the quality of that meeting.
Oh,
Because the end
ganon.
result of what we do has to do also with how we psych ourselves.
Okay.
Example, no, if you're sloppy, if your grooming is sloppy, then your output might also be sloppy. There's an effect.
So, naaapektuhan din our output. So,
Yeah.
Ginny, talking about virtual meetings, can you give us more etiquette tips? How we behave, how we participate in virtual meetings? Kasi ngayon, everybody is in virtual meetings. So, what are some tips that you can give our viewers?
Well, okay. Aside from the tips I gave on appearance, so I can mention that it's important also to follow the house rules of the meeting. Because
Mm-hmm.
I guess before a meeting, many companies they send their staff or clients some house rules to observe. There are some who are particular about video on.
Oh,
So
why? So it is not correct to turn off your video in a business, in a virtual meeting. Bakit?
well, because it's just like the two of us are talking. If your video's on, as if I'm talking to no one.
Kapag naka-off yung video niyo.
Yes, yes. It's just like I can just talk to you on the phone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to do a video call?
Right, right. So what about,
But
managing?
but I also know one reason why many people don't turn on their videos because of the internet problems. So we also have to give some allowances, but as much as we can, we try to comply with whatever are the house rules of a meeting, and especially if we are supposed to intervene or we're supposed to present, no, then we are discarded. No, I think those are very important when we join online meetings, and never to leave the meeting unless it's finished. And but you can inform the host ahead of time, just like a face-to-face meeting. If there are some reasons why you have to leave earlier,
Okay.
and just like any face-to-face meeting, to have full attention in the meeting, because especially at home, it's so easy to have another gadget, no? Or do other things while you're in the meeting, or there is some people, they have the video off because they're doing other things. So
Right.
that is the honesty that I mentioned a while ago with regard to
Oh, you mentioned nga, Ginny, especially when you're like meeting from home, working from home is the new normal.
yeah.
So, ano pa yung ibang proper etiquette, good manners that we should observe while working from home? Because syempre, in reality, when you are at home, nandyan din yung mga concerns sa bahay. May delivery, may
Yeah.
bata, may
Oo.
kitchen. So how do you manage that so you don't get crazy? Hindi ba? Kung minsan, mas stressful to work from home. So what are the things
As you also teach, Rita, I think it's important the work-life balance and to observe work hours, to really have those necessary breaks. I learned from you also the episodes. Yeah, and then to keep your sanity, and then at the same time to find time for recreation and physical activity, exercise, walking. Yeah, to have those breaks, and that way, I think we can also be more productive as we work from home.
Any final message, final tips for our viewers, Ginny, on clothing with dignity, on preserving our values, or having a congruence between what we believe in and how we project ourselves to the world?
All right. How can you make the virtue of modesty attractive? I guess it is when we try to dress with style, when we develop our own style, not a borrowed style, and we know how to combine well colors. And this is how you make virtues attractive, starting with modesty. And another important virtue that contributes to that is elegance. Huh? Elegance is good taste. To develop good taste, some have it inborn, but it can be acquired as we expose ourselves, no, to beautiful things.
Does elegance have to be expensive, Ginny? Because when you say elegance, parang mahal yun.
Right, because people think that elegance has to do with special occasions. But we can be elegant and casually dressed.
Elegant and casually dressed.
So when you say something is elegant, it's not just, oh, it's so fine, no? It's so precious. It's not only that. It's of good taste.
Of good taste.
It's just like class cannot be bought.
Okay.
Good taste doesn't have to do with wealth. Even someone with modest means can have good taste and fashion sense.
Okay, so Ginny, where can they go if they want to improve on their appearance, to have good taste and elegance, be clothed in dignity without spending so much money?
If you want us to help you with your style, develop your personal style, you may contact us, no, through our image consultancy, Flair Image Consultancy. So www.imagebyflair.com. You can also reach us through our website and Instagram account.
Thank you so much, Ginny. Till the next interview.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So we are temples of the Holy Spirit, and we are encouraged to dress, to be clothed in dignity, so that we may project our identity as a child of God. Thank you so much for watching. This is Rita Dairit reminding you today, haba-habaan pa ang pasensya sa pagtatambuhay, parang life.